Good morning, preppers. We are on our way to probably one of Scotland's worst kept secrets, so stay tuned and find out. Me and Mrs. Urban Prepper en route, and we'll get you some footage. What's up, guys? We are here at Scotland's secret bunker. So not so secret because it is a tourist attraction now, and we're going to go and have a look inside and see what it would have been like during the Cold War. I think the last time it was used before being decommissioned and turned into a tourist attraction. Some cool vehicles. So yeah, let's have a look around. So we're coming down into the bunker now. It's 30 meters at its lowest point, so not really deep compared to modern standards, but you can see by the expanse down there how vast it actually is. Cable access to the tunnel carries all the bunker's power supplies from both the national grid to our own powerhouse. So this is what a classic Royal Observation Corps area would be like, just a two-man bunk, very small living area. And this is what you find often in quite them small bunkers that you see scattered around the country. We're here at the bunker blast doors. They weigh 1.5 tons each, and they'd be sealed up in the event of an attack. So let's head into the bunker itself. It's clearly not being on the prepper diet. So, Mrs. Urban Prepper just realised his leg's up and he's trying to seduce us. But this would be the doctor. This is one of the dorm rooms. This would have been military personnel or junior staff. They'd be in a full room like this. This is flashbacks to actual basic training, the kind of thing you're in. Very basic bunks and your own locker, whereas senior staff would have been more like 4 to a room. So you'd have arrived. You wouldn't have brought anything with you. It'd probably been an emergency to get here, but you would have got a bundle on your bed. That would have all your clothes in, everything like that. Everything you need to survive down here, or the very basics at least. So we're in the radio broadcast area. You have to get the word out, you have to stay in contact. This is just the workshop area. And then through here would be the actual broadcast studio. You can hear the classic radio going on at the moment, but it's a standard radio studio. Looks very similar to a modern studio with obviously older tech. And then because this would have been the full-time job in this event, they've got this area of the studio as well, which comes complete with cot bed, locker. He doesn't have to bunk with the rest of the staff. So interestingly enough, we've just done a video on entertainment, and that's no different in bunker life. So you would have had to have something for them, whether it's for educational purposes or entertainment purposes. And we have here 2 cinema rooms. So we're going to go into cinema room 1, warning, suitable for only over 12s. It's loud in here, so you might not hear me fully, but let's have a look. Very basic, using like 35mm projectors. And it would be something to entertain, something to orientation, anything like that. Plenty of room, plenty of seats, and yeah, entertainment covered. Heading down now to RAF Ops, Civil Defence Ops, Nuclear Ops, Plant Room, all the more advanced stuff that needs to be deeper down, more secure. 30 metres at the deepest point, as I said. Apparently, the bunker has its own kitty cat. There we go. I'm not sure animal control know that the bunker cat is here. This is the plant room, all the engineering equipment, keeping the whole thing ticking over. Right, so this is the central command area for all the government operations. So if you just look around here while I'm talking, over to the left hand side we see emergency services as well as Department for Transport. Coming across we've got the Treasury, I'm not sure what Rachel Accounts is going to do from there. On the right we've got Health Department and Agricultural, Fishery and Food. So literally all departments of the government, and then a central operations map in the middle, and you can see the top of Scotland here and all the maps and all the site points of interest on that. This is the area you could see from the operation rooms, the fire, police and ambulance services, with the chief constable with his own little area through there that we can't get to at the moment. The cat is everywhere. The hive of communication here completely. You can imagine the hustle and bustle that would be going on here. People in and out of doors, 9 operators through there, on the switchboard, through here, coded operators receiving messages through military HQ, both coded and uncoded, and then relayed to the people to decipher what needs to go where and sent out. Note the sign though here, smoking prohibited. Could be just this area, but if you're anything like me and you've seen the film Threads and all the councillors are down in that bunker, they're chimney smoking in there, so who knows what it has really been like in a crisis. Some of our more extreme preppers will be excited at this moment. This is the Armory. Let's check out the Armory. Just samples on the walls of what would have been held in that kind of era. Got an MP40 there, stuff like that. The PPSH 41, very familiar to me, is this one up here, the SA80. A lot of people will recognise that one. But this itself would have been an armory room for the small military contingent that would have been here. It would have housed weapons and anything they needed if, after said attack, there was hostile forces and they had to exit, they would need to equip themselves somehow. Mrs. Urban Prepper's adopted a cat. This is civil defence operations from the 60s, and civil defence is something that I think we should restart, but this is an example of the kind of operations centre that wouldn't just be somewhere like this, but would be scattered throughout the country. There's maps on the walls showing you different locations for that, and generally kind of a volunteer force to protect and serve the communities and the country. And this would have been their hub to communicate with the centralised bunkers. So we're now in the RAF Centre. So through here is radar inception. You can see the radar screens going there, looking for incoming air traffic, anything like that. 6 radar points there, and all the details up on the backboard. Through into here, which is the operations centre for the RAF from the 1950s. This way. And you can see, much more familiar to people who like the older films and stuff like that, we've got the operations map going on down here with the little boards to shuffle around and push around and see what's going on, and constant streams of information coming in from the communications hub. The communications itself had its own section, which is over here. Very similar with the 2 switchboard exchanges that we saw before, but also down here you'll see Morse code for getting the coded messages coming through. You can hear Morse code in the background in this room, but you can see them all there. Messages would have been decoded, very basic Morse code sheet down there with all the details on. We all know the symbols, SOS, dot, 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 dash, 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 dot, dot, dot. And then passing messages through here, through to the communications room. At this point, we're starting to go back up, and it's just an area with some bits of the exhibits. They've got a new exhibit under construction here. It'd be good to see what that is. Maybe that could be a decontamination area as you're going out. All the hooks along the walls, and you can see the good old DPM hanging up there. Lovely cafe halfway through with a really nice welcome, and yeah, not bad prices. And if you're not feeling a coffee like I wasn't today, there's other options. Just told that this is one of like very few bunkers, unlike the big ROC ones, that has had a constant connection to water, sewage and electricity, and that's remained the way since it's been built. So it's not self-generating, doesn't need the air pumps, etc., but it is all connected to the main grid. I do believe it has backups as well should the grid go down. And just for Brian and Hawkins, this cafe is sponsored by the real drink, not that Pepsi crap. Yeah. So we're in the Royal Observer Corps. This is the first point you get to, but we're seeing it last because we've been in the cafe. And the Royal Observer Corps are the small bunkers you see everywhere. This would have been a central command post for them. It's very loud in here, so hopefully you can hear me. And you can see down there, very similar to the government control central, but a smaller scale. All the different units around this side there. And this would have been more like something that was standalone, away from a central government area. So that's what the central government would have spoke to, and this would have been in a different location. So I've just been speaking to the guy that is in the cafe here, and he's been here a while, knows a lot about it. In the 50s, there was no backup power at all. Yeah, you'd just be down here. There's a top side generator where the power would have come from. Anything compromised that, you'd have been down here, complete darkness, complete blackout, pretty useless at that point. In the 60s as well, there was backup generators. Now there is backup generators, which will click on if the grid is cut off. However, in the 60s, there was no automatic click on. So basically, the fastest person in the bunker would be volunteered to run out, pull a big switch and run back in, hopefully not being vaporized or exposed to radiation for too long. Quite a scary concept. No backup power down here itself generating. However, there was batteries for certain elements, so there would have been a tiny bit of backup power for some crucial systems, but that would have been very short-lived. Quite a recognisable shape, and these are up and down the country. So they were all done in a similar sort of way with these pillars, so it's trying to make it look like an old farmhouse. Now in different areas, depending on what the local area is like, this stone might be brick and them tiles might be slate, but generally this is the shape of the building. Here. A subtle and recognisable difference when you get up close, of course, is these huge metal shutters that are here covering all the windows as well as the main door, which is a steel door there. So that's not the main protection from any sort of blast. That's lower down in the bunker, but it's recognisable, and you might have seen a building similar to this near you. The Green Goddess, of course, was in service for quite a while back. Then we come down here. It's got a nice collection of military vehicles outside of it. So not very subtle, obviously. SAM-2 surface to air missile here. Guideline. Coming over here, and we've got the Abbott 105mm self-propelled gun, 1950 to 1961. And then look at this, very Mad Max, the Pig, the armoured vehicle, armoured personnel carrier. This is something you want for your local mag group for sure. Up here, we're looking, check this out. So this would have been the on-surface generators and power fuel stores, sewage, everything like that. Obviously, it's camouflaged to blend in, but that's your pretty much biggest weakness when it came to something like this, that this was on the outside. And you see the MOD. This is the Fox. This is the big brother to the Ferret vehicle I want. 30mm cannon on the top there. What is now the electric charging points, this container itself was originally the backup water supply. Now it's no longer a backup drinking water supply because it's been exposed to the elements over here near this bunker, but they do still use it. This is what fuels all the fire extinguishers down in the bunker itself. All the land that used to be surrounding it was still ploughed, but ploughed by the military, purely as a look. So it looked from above as you came over, but it was actually still a farm site. So there we go guys, that was Scotland's secret bunker. Mrs. Urban Prepper's got in the car because it's quite blowy out here, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an outro. Definitely worth coming soon. It's around £17 per adult or something thereabouts. I'll pop it on the screen now when I remember all the prices, but it's definitely worth a visit coming seeing this. It's good to get an idea of how it might have been or how it could be in the future. Hopefully not, but for me, if you're looking at this from a prepping perspective, this is not a viable option. This is not going to be your bug out location, but it's a great tourist attraction to come and see for sure. Thanks for watching the video guys. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in another video really soon. Goodbye.